Hello and welcome back to You're a Goddamn Cheater with me, Jenna, the Scorpio Moon Coach. How are you? How are you feeling? How are you feeling today in this moment? So I am recording this on a Taurus full moon, and every full moon, like, I will not stop reminding people about this, every full moon and every new moon, that is my check-in point. Essentially, that is my cosmic check-in point where I take space for myself to check in with how I'm feeling, to listen to myself, to process what's been going on the past month. And it's an opportunity to just create space for myself, create space, and to listen, essentially. And I'll never stop reminding you of it, because it is just like been the most, or one of the most powerful tools to start to understand myself and to just get more and more aware of how I'm feeling, and to really tune into my intuition. And which is why I remind you about it all the time, because I really, really see the proof that it works when you keep showing up for yourself, keep making space for yourself. Oh God, my battery is about to die. Hang on a second. You can hear me rustling around now with the leads. Do you know what? I was literally just thinking, shall I just restart this again? And I'm just not gonna. I'm just gonna roll with this, and I'm gonna try and put the charger in while I record it. Bear with me. And I'm back. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So we've just had this full moon, and this is a full moon in Taurus. I was a full moon in Taurus, and it's been quite an important one for me personally, because this last Taurus full moon marks the end of my nodal return, essentially. And what that is we have a north node, which symbolizes our soul purpose, and we have a south node that symbolizes our kind of comfort zone, like how we like things that come really naturally to us, gifts, it's like past lives, that's where we came in on it, basically. It's like our south node, and our north node is our soul purpose, is where we're heading to in this lifetime, which is generally out of our comfort zone. It's where there's a bit, it's always creates a bit of fear, because it's the unknown, but that's the direction that we want to be heading in this lifetime. So we have these two lunar nodes. Essentially, everybody has one, so you can go and look in your birth chart and try and pinpoint where your north node and south node is and interpret that. I talk about it in I've got a free astrology mini course, which you can find. I'll pop it in the show notes. But everybody has one. And they fall in a particular zodiac sign. So my north node is in Taurus, and so what that means is every 18 years, these your natal, the north node that is in your birth chart, will roll back around to match the zodiac sign of what the north node is currently in today, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm confusing or overcomplicating it, but essentially the last 18 months, my north node is in Taurus on my birth chart, but currently, in our skies, the north node is in Taurus again. So it's basically returned to that point, which is why you call it a nodal return. And with that, it kind of comes with this energy of right, are you heading in the right direction? Are you facing your north node? Are you in alignment with where you kind of where you set out to go in this lifetime. Like, are you on the right path, essentially? And so my nodal return started in January 2022. And I had an awareness that this was coming because about 6 months prior, I had my birth chart read for the very first time. It absolutely blew my mind, and it ignited this like real passion in learning more and more about astrology. And I see it as just the most amazing self-discovery tool. And yeah, I was kind of made aware of it in this birth chart reading. And so I knew it was coming. And I actually can't even, I'm going to try to, but it's really hard to articulate all the changes that have happened to me in the past 18 months has been really monumental. And I think, one, it's because I had awareness that this nodal return was happening. And I felt the energy shift for sure, but it was just so, it was also, I was ready for it. I was really feeling at that time that I was not on the right path. And I had been feeling those nudges for quite a long time, but I didn't want to listen to them because it required change. And the Jenna 2 years ago really feared change, really feared the unknown, really feared stepping out of her comfort zone. And really didn't listen to herself. And I think when I was like doing that full moon ritual yesterday, I like check in, and I like to look back and celebrate, you know, the things that I've achieved. That's like one of the things that I do in my ritual. It's really important to celebrate and to check in and really acknowledge how far you've come, however big or small. And I looked back to just like a year ago on the last Taurus full moon, and just I was in a completely different place even a year ago. And for context, if anyone's watching this on YouTube, you might notice that I'm not recording in my living room or my bed today, like in my flat. I'm actually recording today from my girl's dad's home, because he is off out working, and I put the girls to bed at his house, and now I'm just watching them because he is out and he'll come back later. But I'm recording this where I used to live with my ex-husband, because in the last 2 years almost, like I've navigated a separation from him, like navigating, like making that decision, sitting with that for like a good 6 months, like together, making, you know, lots of conversations, like lots of checking in with one another to make sure it was the right decision. Like, no, we both knew it was the right decision, but just keep checking in, and lots of conversations and therapy along the way. And then, you know, then we made the decision to loop in families, and, you know, to confide in them of this decision that we'd made to end our marriage. And yeah, and then later on deciding that actually I was going to be the one that left, like in quotation marks, like the marital home, I guess. And I was really fucking scared to do that. But I knew that it was the right decision for me. Like, I just knew that it was going to be the best thing for me. And I wasn't sure at the time, like, financially how I was going to make it work. Like, I wasn't sure. Like, there were so many variables. Like, you know, am I going to be able to find a flat that's like close to here? Like, logistically, how the fuck are we going to make this work? Like, co-parenting, and there were just so many unknowns. And it was, I think about it now, and I just remember feeling so overwhelmed with all of the different, like I said, the different variables that I just had no clue of how it was going to pan out. And that really scaring me, because before that I needed to know how all of the ways that I had to always see like 10 steps ahead. I had to always see like what the solution was going to, like what the kind of end result was going to be before I got there. And this was very much just like listening to myself, going with my gut of like, I really feel like I need a fresh start. I really feel like I need to leave this and set up my own home somewhere else. I feel that intuitively. I know that that's what's going to be right for me. But I don't know where I'm going to live, and I don't know how I'm going to make it work financially. And like, I just have no idea, but I took the leap anyway. And I just kind of went into the unknown and made that decision. And it all massively paid off, because I trusted myself, and I trusted that whatever happened, I had my own back, and I knew that I could work things out because I'm really resourceful. And whatever happens to me, I know that I have the resources and the strength inside myself to work out whatever is thrown at me. And it's like, I think from continuing to show up for myself and starting to like tune into like give myself space so that I could tune into how I was feeling, and to start listening to myself, and to start making decisions based on my intuition and what I felt like in my gut, meant that I could really actually trust myself to make these big monumental decisions without knowing the real outcome, and just like going for it anyway, because I really deeply trust myself. And yeah, that was just like so huge, and it just like really blew me away, actually. You know, reading some journal entries from like this time last year of just being about to start looking at flats and being really nervous. And I just I actually wrote myself a little letter like on the 25th of October 2022, just like saying something along the lines of like, I know you're scared, but you can trust yourself. You can trust yourself, like back yourself, basically. Like, and I and there was loads of other things that I said to myself. I can't remember because I don't have it with me. But I asked myself to, I wrote on the envelope for Jenna, don't open before 25th of October 2023. And I put it in a book, and then I just found it a few weeks ago, and I was like, shit, I totally forgot that I wrote this letter to myself. And when I read it, obviously burst into tears, because just like the person still that wrote that letter, like I'm so fucking proud of her for like how far she's come and the decisions that she made then. But also, like, I am not that person anymore. I've actually grown way past the point that I ever thought I possibly could. And I got here from doing all of these, like discovering so many like magical tools along the way, all these like self-discovery tools essentially, and doing them all kind of like in parallel, and slowly but surely getting more of an awareness of what makes me me, more of an understanding of all of my like moving parts, all of my light, all of my shadow, and really like just taking the time, taking the space back for myself to understand me, and seeing that as actually a massive priority for me. And realizing as well the importance of like, when I do that, I win massively, but also everybody else around me wins, because I am more like, I'm happier, I'm more fulfilled, I can show up for people way more when I am just being more me. And the reason as well that I did it on the 25th of October is 2022, like when I wrote this letter, is because that was the launch day of my very first paid for course, the ReBirth of You. And it just like, I still remember launching it being like, what the actual fuck am I doing? Like, oh, like, who am I to like, what am I doing? Like, but it just felt so deeply important to share with people all of the tools that and resources that I had learned of understanding myself better, because I know that there are people out there that feel really lost and feel like they don't know themselves anymore, and that they know that there is more out there for them in whatever shape or form that looks like. They feel that there's more out there for them, but they can't quite put their finger on what the fuck more is, or what that looks like, or what it is that they need. And all of these tools that I put into the ReBirth of You are ways to start to get like clarity and understanding of what that is for you. And I just trusted that. And I taught the ReBirth of You to 3 amazing people first time round, and I was literally completely blown away that I was given the opportunity to teach those 3 people. And I actually I did the first ReBirth of You like in this flat, which was our home together. And yeah, was really blown away by like passing on this knowledge to other people that I felt was like deeply important. So like leaning into moon magic and the importance of following the lunar cycle, and the importance of like just getting to grips with that there is like, life flows so much easier when we just give in to the fact that we need to go in this more ebb and flow of life, and not this like linear way of just like go all the time, be productive, don't ever stop. Like, that is not the way that we should be living our lives. We should be living in this more cyclical way, because we are cyclical beings. Like, we need to learn the importance to rest, and when we do that and we rest, we can maximize our energy on the other side. We can be more productive, we can be more creative, we can like show up for the people that we love more and more and more, when we live in this more cyclical way of being. There's so much power in it. But also, and the importance of just tuning into nature, tuning in, knowing when it's a new moon and a full moon, and what that means, and how to just like show up for yourself. And take space for yourself to tune in to you, to like your emotions and your feelings, which all connected like with the moon. We talked about that. We talked about like love languages, which has, you know, been, even though me and my ex-husband are obviously, you know, we're no longer together, knowing your love languages is so like deeply important to understanding yourself, but also it's massively helped us navigate our separation, our divorce, like how we co-parent in the most beautiful way. We understand one another so much better because of that, and how I can then move forward in other relationships, and knowing what my own love languages are, and be able to ask for that and to articulate that is everything. Doing like inner child work has been, yeah, the most profound work. So deeply important to start to get to grips with what your kind of childhood experiences were like, what needs that you felt that weren't met as a child, and to start to just get curious about it, not to understand everything, but just to get curious and to start to bit by bit get awareness of certain things. And all of a sudden puzzle pieces start to like click together, and you start to have these like, oh shit, that is why I feel like XYZ about a certain situation, and this happened to me. And the more you do it, it's like the more gets unlocked as you like dig deeper into these shadowy parts and, yeah, painful parts. But if we can be brave and lean into that discomfort, to that pain, so much healing, so much understanding, so much compassion can come from that. And so, yeah, it's just all of these components really of self-discovery and deeper understanding of what makes you you has all been poured into the rebirth of you. And I just guess I've just been really reflective of it, because it's just, we've just had the year anniversary basically of when I first launched the course, and it's now, this will be the next round of the Rebirth of You starts November 13th, and that will be the 5th round of it. And I just am totally blown away that's the position that I'm now in, because when I launched it, I just thought, I just need one person. If I just do one person, and even if I just do it once, like it's a success, and I did it and it happened. And then I don't know, people just came, and I just kept going, like kept showing up, and kept saying like, I have this thing, like, you know, I felt lost once. I felt like I wanted more. I felt like I didn't really know who I was. And I have these like tools, and I just want to share with you how much magic these tools can create in your life, because I've done them all, and I still do them all today. Like they're all things that I still regularly lean on and embody like in my life today, which is why I'm still teaching the Rebirth of You. And I still every single time I do it, I'd show up in a kind of a different way with I refine it every single time, because I'm still massively like growing and shedding old versions of myself, and I show up every single time in the Rebirth of You as a new version of Jenna, with more to share, like a new perspective on each of those tools. And yeah, I just kind of really wanted to share that with you, and to acknowledge the importance of showing up for yourself, and the importance of investing in yourself. Like, I also didn't get to this point without the support of a lot of people, one of which is my coach, who I just love deeply, Lisa Sykes. And I still remember like I still remember the moment when I actually decided, like, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to invest in a coach. I know that I have, you know, a lot of like furniture to buy for my flat, and you know, I need to set up a new home and all of these other things. But I thought, I need to invest in myself right now. I need I need someone in my corner, like cheering me on and supporting me and showing up for me. But the first step was for me actually to do that for myself. Like, I made that decision for myself to invest in myself, to see my own growth as a priority. And it was just the best feeling to spend that money on just my growth. And it has paid off like you wouldn't believe. Not even in like, well, actually, certainly in terms of how my business has grown in the past year, but also, you know, in so many ways, like personally as well, just how I've grown as a person in all areas of my life. Like, it's not, I think, having a coach, it doesn't have to just be about your business. If you have one, it can absolutely just be because you need that support, and you just need someone to walk alongside you in your life at that current moment, because you know that you want to grow, you know that you're going to be facing like a particularly tricky time. If there's change coming up, sometimes you just need someone to walk alongside you, and not to give you all the answers, but just as someone there that can hold space for you to work things out, and for someone to listen, and that you know that they've got your back, and that they want you to win, that they really want you to win. Yeah. And it just, regardless, I guess, of, you know, because I am a coach and I really love coaching my clients. I have the dreamiest clients that I love working with. But regardless of that, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, I think I want to invest in myself, regardless of whether or not you choose to like work with me, please know that investing in yourself in that way, you just will not regret it. It's the biggest like gift to yourself, to see yourself and your own growth as that much of a priority. And I promise you, it pays off in dividends, like massively. Like, even in that just kind of that first month of just being like, oh my God, I'm gonna pay this money and invest in myself, was huge. Yeah, I don't even really know what I kind of wanted to really explore today, other than the fact that I guess I just wanted to celebrate the year anniversary of the rebirth of you, and just show up for myself and acknowledge that, like, publicly and say it out loud, and just to like use my voice in actually celebrating something that was once just like a little idea in my head. And like how often like do people like have these things of like, oh yeah, I'd like to do that one day, or I'd like to talk about this, or I've got a little bit of knowledge that I want to share. And how often do we have that idea, but then we just squash it because like, oh no, nobody wants to hear from me, or oh, but you know, I've got a lot on, or oh, you know, it's not the right time right now, you know, I've got the kids, or there's work, or blah blah blah, you know, all of these other things. Like sometimes these ideas never actually get off the ground. And I guess I want to say, you know, I know that every single person listening to this has so much wisdom, so much knowledge, so many like life experiences that people need to hear about. People need to hear about it, whether it is doing a podcast, whether it is like launching a business, doing a course, like writing a book, you know, all of these things, all like it's so important for all of us to share our experiences and to share our voices and to express ourselves, because we are so wonderfully unique. And I promise you, there are people out there waiting to hear from you, waiting to listen to you. And you know, just this kind of example of like me doing the rebirth of you, there were people ready and waiting and being like, yes, I have felt like lost, I felt like I wanted more, all of those things of how I felt before like I found these tools within the rebirth of you. Like there were people just sat there waiting for it, and like, and then all of a sudden they were like, yes, that speaks to me, and I'm in, I bought it, and I'm on the rebirth of you. And that is absolutely going to happen for you in whatever shape or form that is. Like people want to hear from you, people need to hear from you, people need to hear what you have to say. And like I want to be your permission slip to like give you that like nudge or that shove to be like, go do the thing, go do the idea that you're currently thinking about and mulling over, go do it. Because even if it affects just literally one person, it is a success. Like that's one of the most powerful things that is like Lisa has taught me, is just like the power of one person. Because so sometimes we get so caught up in like numbers and of how many people sign up for a masterclass, or sign up for a course, or show up on one of our lives, or you know, all of those things. We just need one person, for it to impact, and or one person for it to just land, and then them to go away and be like, oh shit, yeah, they've got a point there. And then to let them to like, then they go away and think about it, and then they take a direct action because of something you have said. You just need literally one person, and you've made an impact. And then that one person will then go and you don't know how many people that person's going to then go off and share it to, and you will never see the ripple effect that is happening out in the world. You won't know that, but it is happening. So we literally just need whatever message you've got, whatever knowledge you've got to share, you just need it to affect one person. And that has always been like a big driving force actually, and it like across this whole year of like, I just, even if it just affects one person and it lands with that one person, it resonates, then like job done. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you essentially. Oh God, is it just making me feel, I think it's well because I'm recording it where I used to live as well. It's just making me feel really nostalgic. but also like really grateful for the fact that I can, yeah, sit here like in my old home and feel like really at peace, like being here, but know that I also have, like, I've set up my own base, my own home, my own like little sanctuary, you know, down the road. And I did it. Like, I had no idea how this was going to pan out at all. And I was so fearful this time last year, so fucking fearful. I was so scared. But I knew that I had to leave. And I knew that it would be a good thing for me to just set up my own space. I knew it was what I needed to do. And so I just leapt into the unknown. I leapt into the void. I wasn't sure how it was all going to pan out, but I was like, I back myself. I trust myself. I know I've got all of the resources and strength inside myself to work this out, whatever happens. And sometimes we need that reminder, because I know anyone listening to this, you absolutely have all the resources inside of yourself. You have all of the strength inside of yourself. So if you're on the precipice of like making a monumental change right now, you have all of the resources, you have all of the strength inside of you to navigate that. But the fear sometimes just absolutely paralyzes us into like leaping and going into the unknown, because it's coded within us to keep safe and to not get out of that comfort zone. Literally coded within us to just like, why would I do that? Why would I put myself in danger in any way? Like, I know what to expect here in this comfort zone, in this space where I feel like everything is the same. And there's a safety and security to it. But just because it feels safe, just because it's familiar to us, doesn't mean that that's what is making us happy. Sometimes those situations do not make us happy. Sometimes it's what actually is what is on the outside of that comfort zone is the thing that's going to make us feel the most happy, the most alive, the most fulfilled, is actually just like facing that fear, like feeling it and just doing it anyway. And also because we've just come out the back, or we're just like, you know, this Taurus full moon was an eclipse. We've just finished up or coming out of eclipse season. And eclipses activate everybody's lunar nodes. So, you know, earlier I was talking about that north node, south node. North node is our soul purpose. Everybody across the board on an eclipse, everybody's lunar nodes get activated. So it's like a big fucking cosmic like shove from the universe being like, are you on the right path right now? Are you facing your north node? Are you like, do you feel like you are like where you're meant to be right now? And if you're not, eclipses can be so difficult and super crazy energy, really hard, because you're not facing that north node. So eclipses kind of come along to give you a big shit, like massive like shove to be like, no, this way, come on, you need to be facing this way, this is where your north node is. And it sometimes means that things start to like crumble around us, crazy stuff starts to happen, because it's trying to kind of, the things crumbling around us, or the things not working out, or us not getting certain things, it's because they weren't meant for us, and things that like need to crumble in order to make space for things that are meant for us and that are more aligned with like that soul purpose, that like north node, where we're heading in this lifetime. And yeah, I guess like, you know, when this my nodal return started, January 2022, that was the month that we decided to separate. And yeah, that's been one of the biggest things that has, I guess, like, in a sense, like, I just let kind of crumble around me. And, you know, that version of us, that married version of us, allowed it to kind of die away in order for like new beautiful things to emerge and to be reborn. And, you know, sometimes, yeah, that married us is no longer here, but what has been born is actually like a really wonderful new friendship that's developed, and so many other things off the back of that, because I listened. And, you know, I think I've got more and more comfortable with allowing to, you know, more and more comfortable with letting things go that are not aligned and don't feel right for me anymore. Because I see every time I do that and I let things go that aren't aligned and aren't right for me, more beautiful things kind of come into my life, because I've actually given myself the space for that to come in. You have to let things die away and sit in the void, because that's where you create the space for new things to come in. We can't kind of hold on to all of the things that we know kind of aren't right for us and just kind of keep everything here and still then want the new beginnings and the new amazing opportunities to come in, because there's no space for it, because you're literally clinging on to all of the things that aren't meant for you. So there's no space for anything new that is more aligned and more beautiful to come in. So you absolutely just have to let the stuff go that's not meant for you, that is you're feeling intuitively that is not right, it's not working, it's not for you. You have to let it crumble and die away, and really trust that when you do that, you are making all of this space for the new, the amazing new opportunities, relationships, friendships, new versions of you that are going to come in and just flood that space and feel so much more aligned and more like right for you, and where it is that you're heading, more on purpose and more in tune and aligned with what it is that you want. But you have to be brave enough to be in that void, that unknown, that, oh my God, I don't know all of the steps, I don't know how this is all going to pan out. But you're rewarded. You're massively rewarded when you take that leap of faith and just lead into the unknown. And also, when you do that once and it pays off, and you see that it pays off, and it will pay off, and you trust and you back yourself, because you're like, I've got this. I know that I've got what it takes to navigate whatever life throws at me. I know that I can do it. And then you go into the unknown and it pays off. You then have the proof, right? You then have the proof that it works, and then you can keep doing it. So as soon as something doesn't feel right to you or in alignment, you can trust that, right, okay, I've got to let go of this. I've got to let it die away. I've got to let it crumble away, because it's not right for me anymore. And I'm just going to have to sit in this uncomfortable void, this unknown of not really knowing what's going on right now. But I know it's going to pay off, because the last time it massively paid off. So I can do this. Feels uncomfortable, but I know that I can do it. And then before you know it, something beautiful will come in and fill that void, because you've created the space for it. And that, I guess, is why the course is called the ReBirth of You, because it's knowing that you have to let things die away in order for these new versions of you to be reborn. And all of the tools within the Rebirth of You like give you the opportunity to explore that and to get curious about it and to get more aware of the things, I guess, that need to die away in order that these new, more beautiful versions of you can emerge. Yeah, right. I feel like I could talk forever today, but I'm gonna leave it there. And I just want to remind you so that the last round of Rebirth of You for this year, for 2023, we start on November 13th on the Scorpio new moon, which I'm very excited about. And yes, 5 calls of all these magical tools. So moon magic, we're talking about menstrual cycles, like the power of practicing your period. That particular module has like changed so much in the last year, and I fucking love it. I'm so proud of like the journey that I've been on, and even in that particular module, that's a whole other podcast episode. But I love that one so much. Inner child work, love languages, and oh god, then the most amazing like personality profiling system, which I've learned through my therapist, which has massively helped. Co-parenting, like how we've never navigated our marriage separation and divorce and all of those things. These are all these amazing self-discovery tools, which are all in the Rebirth of You. And yeah, it starts on November 13th. So if you fancy that and you are in, go to the show notes, and all the details are there for that. Right, I am going to love you and leave you. Thank you for listening. Like, again, just I deeply appreciate that you're here and you're listening along. And please, like, DM me if the episode resonates, or share on your Instagram stories. And yeah, I will see you soon. Lots of love.